Why did you help me? What could a Danon like you possibly gain from helping a Renin like me?
Trust me, I've no great love for Renins. I guess I'm just not as consumed with hatred as some...
What?
Have we met somewhere before?
Me? Friends with a Danon? Can't say I've had the pleasure.
Well, when you put it like that, yeah, silly question. I don't remember anything about my past. Don't have any clues to go on either. Not even my own face.
Let me get this straight. You don't know what you look like, but you thought I might somehow recognize you?
Something like that. Guess my helping you back there wasn't as self-sacrificing as I made it out to be. Besides, I can't feel pain anyway, so it's not like...
Wait, you really can't feel pain?
Yeah. It's just another thing I don't have. No pain, no face, no memories. I only know one thing about myself, and that's that I'm a slave.
What about your name? You must have one, right?
Iron Mask. Got the name from the person who found me. Said that this way I wouldn't forget I had a real name out there somewhere.
I see.
So where to next?
Outside, silly. What do you think we fought all this way for? So this whole you not feeling pain thing, is that for real?
Why would I lie about it? And why would you care anyway?
No, it's just... You know, I can't imagine what it's like, that's all.
As a slave, I'd say it has its advantages and disadvantages.
Oh?
On the upside, when Renin soldiers push me around, I hardly flinch. The downside's that I get injured without even noticing. Which means I could be knocking on death's door and not even realize it.
Really?
Sure. I may be numb to pain, but that doesn't make me immortal or anything. Still, I wouldn't have noticed any of this if someone hadn't pointed it out to me. If not for my fellow slaves, I'd be long dead, lying in a ditch somewhere.
Can you even see out of that thing? Like, at all?
Of course I can. How else do you think I managed to avoid tripping everywhere I go?
What is that thing anyway? It doesn't look like anything Danon I've ever seen.
Beats me. I don't remember anything about my past. When I came to, I was already wearing it. If I could get it off, I would. Damn thing makes it hard to eat, and I can't scratch my face when it itches. It's the worst.
Honestly, I'm just impressed you've managed to survive this long looking like that. I'm sure you attract attention wherever you go.
Most of the other Danons don't pay it any mind. It's in everyone's best interest to just keep their heads down, focus on their work.
What about the Renin soldiers? Didn't they notice?
The guards? They're more the kill first, ask questions later type. Be in the wrong place or step out of line and you're dead. Mask or no mask. That said, as long as you keep your head down and don't cause trouble, they mostly ignore you. Honestly, sometimes they don't look all that keen to stir up trouble themselves. A friend of mine said it's because if they kill us without a good reason, it could delay the work and put them behind schedule. At that point, it'd be their necks on the line. You should know more about all that than me, though, right?
I don't serve any of the lords. But I see what you mean. After 3 centuries of Renin rule without much upheaval, it's possible the soldiers might be losing their edge. All this trouble we've caused might be the first excitement they've had in a while.
Well, I don't plan on getting killed for their amusement.
The blazing sword. It just might be strong enough to match the power of a lord. No, maybe even to surpass it.
Are you sure you're okay?
What do you mean?
Your wound. That soldier nailed you pretty good. Not to mention those flames bursting from you.
They only hit my master core, so I'll be fine. And the flames weren't even hot. It's probably because they're just a manifestation of the astral energy. Honestly, I'm more surprised that you really are incapable of feeling pain.
Did you think I was faking?
No, I believed you. I guess seeing you stay calm while bearing those burns to your hands just really made it hit home for me. It's ironic. I have no problem hurting anyone who touches me. But as soon as I try to wield that sword, it's me who gets hurt.
Do you wish you were impervious to pain too? You realize you could burn your fingers off without even noticing, right?
So what? All I need right now is power. And up until now, I haven't come across anything stronger than that blazing sword the whole time I've been doing this.
You really don't care what happens to you as long as you get what you're after, do you?
Don't talk like you know me.
Ah. You... You're right. I don't get you. I don't get why you're so quick to throw it all away. Not when us slaves have never had a choice in whether we lived or died.
How come you don't have a scar on your hand?
A scar? What do you mean?
The Crimson Crows all tore off their own spirit cores, right? But your hand doesn't show any signs of ever having a core like theirs. Why not?
I don't know. I don't remember anything about myself from before Doc found me.
Seriously? You have that mask, you don't feel any pain, and you just happen to know how to fight with a sword? No way. You must remember something.
I'm not lying if that's what you think. Believe me, I wish I knew who the hell I am. But I don't. It's funny how I didn't have any time for soul-searching while digging up rocks in a mine.
Still.
Are you saying you've told us everything about yourself?
Zephyr.
It's bad manners to pry when you've got plenty to hide yourself.
You're not gonna ask me about my past too?
Only when I think it's necessary. You're a real man of mystery, I'll admit. That said, I'm not one to dig around in someone's business just out of curiosity. If you remember something and feel like sharing, you're free to do so. For now, I think that's good enough.
Right. Thank you. Zephyr, why aren't you concerned about who I am?
You feeling left out, son?
No, it's not that. But...
You said you wanted to fight so that you can live a free man. At this point, that's all that matters. Even if it somehow turned out you were a Renin, it wouldn't be such a big deal.
A Renin?
Until we know who you are, we can't rule anything out. Besides, we've already got Shion with us. At this point, what's one more Renin as long as they're on our side?
So you don't see every Renin as an enemy?
Our goal isn't to hunt down and kill all Renins. We only arm ourselves as much as we need to set ourselves free. If you can believe it, not every Danon agrees with what we're doing either.
Are you saying we have enemies among the Danons?
Not quite. They're just not up for rebelling, per se. The thing you have to remember is that everyone has their own path to walk.
I'm not sure I understand.
That's okay. Just focus on what we have to do right now. However, the time will come when you'll need to decide what to do for yourself.
Cut it out. Didn't anyone ever tell you it's rude to stare?
I know I already asked you this, but are you sure we haven't met somewhere before?
What's so hard to understand? I'm Renin, you're Danon. There's no way. Besides, I'm from Lenegus. Trust me, wherever you were before you lost your memory, we've never crossed paths.
Lenegus? You mean the same Lenegus that's up in the sky? I've heard it called the Renin's Castle, but I never imagined people actually lived up there.
Well then, where did you think we all lived? Didn't you see the Renin Lords descend for the crown contest?
And how long ago was that?
Well, the current contest started 7 years ago, so...
Then I wouldn't remember.
Just how far back do you remember?
About a year, give or take. That's how long ago Doc found me.
1 year. Then no. I'm sorry, but there really is no way we could have met.
Guess not. Hey, Shion, where does your gun come from?
What do you mean, where does it come from?
When you're fighting, it looks like it just appears out of nowhere.
Oh, that's transferal technology. When I don't need my weapon, I submerge it in empty space. And when I do, I summon it. Make sense?
Not really, but it sounds pretty amazing.
Huh?
Well, that way you don't have to carry around any heavy weapons or worry about enemies trying to steal them, right? It's a pretty cool invention.
You realize you're praising the technology of your enemies, right?
So, technology's technology. It's not good or bad in and of itself.
I guess that's true.
Try to be careful not to stand out too much. You're the only Renin around here, you know.
I know. I was just thinking about how communal it feels here, even though it's only supposed to be slave quarters.
Huh? Oh, yeah. When you put it like that, I guess it is different from heavily patrolled Mosgul. Were you expecting something more depressing?
It's likely a sign that Balsef doesn't think you guys can do anything to him.
What?
I mean, if Balsef thought the Crimson Crows actually posed a threat to him, you'd figure he'd be trying harder to suppress them.
You... No. You're probably right about that. All of the other Danans that aren't with the Crimson Crows accept the Renin's rule as simply a fact of life. From the day we're born, no, probably even before that, it's been drilled into us that the only purpose our lives have is to help select the next sovereign.
If they don't like the status quo, then they should fight it. Otherwise, they're endorsing it either way.
I see it differently, but that's just me. Speaking of Renins, do all of them think about things the way you do?
I won't deny that among my fellow Renins, power and status are everything. However, that isn't what this is about for me. I have something I need to do, and I'll do whatever it takes and use whoever and whatever I need in order to get the job done. To hell with power. I swear you can't walk 5 steps without tripping on a Zoogle. This is getting old.
Yeah, but wasn't it you Renins who brought the Zoogles here from Rena in the first place?
They're not just ordinary animals from Rena. Each of them has been modified to suit a particular purpose. In fact, some Zoogles were originally derived from the animals on Dana, or so I've heard.
What? You Renins couldn't stop at just the people of this planet? You had to screw with our nature too?
You can get angry all you want, but we have bigger fish to fry. So, are you going to work with me or not?
I will. It's in both of our own interests. You said before that this probably used to be a supply depot, right? But Nay thought it was a Renin castle. I wonder what it actually is.
Who knows?
Who knows?
What, can't I not know something? You didn't think I knew every last thing about my own kind, did you?
I didn't say that.
From what I've heard, a lot of the materials that were initially brought over from Rena 300 years ago were repurposed for other things over time. So it's entirely possible that this place used to be both a supply depot and a lord's castle at different points in time. They're not mutually exclusive. I couldn't tell you when the lord's castle moved to its current location, though. Well, satisfied?
Yeah. Thank you. You know, for telling me about all that.
It's not like I mentioned anything that useful. Come on, let's keep moving.
I still can't believe this is happening. We're really about to face off against a Renin Lord.
Well, you're in pretty high spirits for a guy going into a life-and-death battle.
I'm not saying I'm not worried. But you have to remember, this is the first time any of us Danans have really had any hope. What about you? You scared at all?
I don't have time to be scared. This is only the first step in a long, long plan of mine.
You want to take down all 5 lords, right? It's hard to believe it'll ever happen.
But it will.
I know. I haven't forgotten our deal.
See that you don't. That said, if we lose, we might suffer a fate worse than death, you know.
That's probably true. But instead of worrying about it, wouldn't it be a better use of our time to figure out ways to avoid that and not lose?
I suppose.
Whatever happens, I'll put everything I have into winning. You can count on that. Where the hell is Balsef? If we don't hurry up and find him...
You're too close. Try to stay farther apart.
Oh, right. Sorry about that. Was I really that close?
I guess I'm just not used to standing right next to people.
You mean because of your thorns? You're a surprisingly nice person.
What?
You don't think so? I mean, you just made sure your thorns wouldn't...
You can keep your opinions to yourself. You don't know the first thing about me.
I'm not saying I know everything about you. Sheesh. No need to bite my head off.
You just can't take a hint, can you?
What? I'm sorry. You're right. I don't know what sorts of hardships you've been through. After all, what could I possibly know about pain?
I know you didn't mean anything bad by what you said. The throne room is up on the next floor. That's probably where we'll find Balsef.
Finally, it's time to face Balsef.
Speaking of Balsef, how much would you say you actually know about him?
What do you mean? He's just a lord that holds power over Calaglia, isn't he?
Just a lord? He is far more than that. Balsef Erwolzi Teldilis is one of the 5 lords that sit atop all of Renan society. Even without his Fire Master Core, fighting him won't be easy. I've seen that man butcher who knows how many Zugals, just to blow off some steam. With sheer brawn like his, he can knock you out with one hit, and it's practically suicide to go up against him when he has a weapon.
Got it. Watch out for his attacks.
That's only the beginning. You can't expect to beat him by attrition. First, we dodge, then look for an opening. Remember that.
Sounds like our teamwork is really going to be put to the test.
Indeed. Don't screw this up and get us both killed. Having second thoughts?
No, I was just thinking about the blazing sword. Whenever I hold it, I feel wrong somehow.
Is relying on a sword from a Renan Master Core that repulsive?
It's not about that. It's just... It's hard to explain. It's like the sword is almost too strong.
I don't know what's got you so worried, but in case you forgot, that sword is the only reason we have a fighting chance against a lord.
I know. You don't need to keep telling me.
Well, good. That said, the longer you use it, the more you get burned by it, too. We need to remember to patch you up quickly when that happens. A double-edged sword in every sense. Since you can't feel pain, you'll need to be careful, okay?
Are you actually worried about me?
Is that a problem? Look, I need you if I'm going to take out the lords, and I can't have you dying on me before that happens. That's my only concern.
What are those things I sometimes see you chuck out in the middle of fights?
What, you mean my bombs?
Bombs? As in the things people use to clear out rocks? But I could have sworn I saw something other than fire burst from some of yours.
That's because these aren't ordinary bombs. They're specially made ones filled with astral energy.
Okay. And why do you shoot the bombs after you release them?
It's a part of my strategy. The effects of my bombs change when I fire bullets of a different astral element at them. It makes it difficult for enemies to predict what effect they'll have, or when they'll go off.
One moment you're using powerful bombs, the next you're using powerful healing arts. They're kinda on the opposite ends of the spectrum, aren't they?
Think of it this way. If you ever get caught up in the blast of one of my bombs and you manage not to die, I'll be able to heal you using my arts.
I'll do my best to not die, then.
That blazing sword's turned out to be even stronger than I expected. With that much sheer power, elemental types are hardly a concern anymore. You can bring practically any foe down to their knees in a flash.
Don't count on me being able to pull off another Gates of Fire. That only happened because I had the help of that spirit vessel monster, too.
Still, you did defeat Balsef with it, which means it can also take down the other lords. That's enough for me. Besides, if it was any stronger, your body wouldn't be able to handle it. Have you forgotten what happened after we finished off Balsef?
No, but aren't you scared of having that much power inside of you? Even a little?
Why would I be? Power provides opportunity. You don't expect me to simply throw it away, do you?
No, I get it. It's a good ace to have up our sleeve, that's for sure. I'll make the most of it. Well, as much as I can without becoming charcoal.
Why am I here?
Would it kill you to be a little more friendly?
I don't see how that's necessary.
Look, for the time being at least, we're working together. You don't have to make this harder than it already is.
In case you've forgotten, the two of us may be working together, but the only reason we're even teamed up right now is because our interests happen to overlap. Otherwise, why in the world would I be working with a Danon slave like...
I am not a slave! I'm not a slave anymore. Not since I chose to fight. I've left that life behind, and I'm better for it. Understand? I'm sorry for yelling. But please, don't call me that ever again. Okay?
Okay.
I wonder what that girl's deal is. Never imagined anyone would ever come from outside the walls of Calaglia.
It's really not that big of a deal. There are more realms out there than just Calaglia, you know.
Maybe it sounds normal to you, but I've been behind those walls for as long as I can remember. Of course I knew there was more out there, but it sure didn't feel like it when unscalable walls are trapping you in.
I hate to burst your bubble, but the rest of Dana isn't much better. The world's full of lords who are just as bad as Balsef.
I know. That girl must have had her reasons for coming over to our territory. Even so, it's nice to see there really is life beyond the walls of Calaglia. It might not mean much to you, but that's reason enough for me to be happy. I'm always impressed how good of a shot you are, Shion.
What do you mean?
Just that all I'm good for is throwing myself at things with all my might. By comparison, your way is more... how do I put it? Precise.
It's not like I'm that good of a... Look, that's just how it is with guns. If you miss, it's a wasted bullet you can't get back.
Is that why you're always aiming to exploit enemies' weak spots?
I wouldn't say every shot is that deliberate, but that is part of it. For example, if I see a flying enemy, I'll often go for their wings. Also, if I see a jumping enemy without wings, I know they're an easy target because they can't get out of the way while in the air. In your case, I bet it's easier for you to deal with enemies that stay on the ground, right?
Definitely. Things that can fly circles around me are a real pain to deal with.
Exactly. It's important to keep your enemy's movements in check.
True. Although your shots have the added benefit of stunning enemies, so it's easier to swipe materials from them. It's really helped out.
It's nothing, really. As long as you keep doing your part when we fight, I'd say we're even. Is it hard leaving Calaglia behind?
No. Actually, it's kind of a relief to be away from there.
Really? What makes you say that?
Because it was getting to the point where every man, woman, and child would come up and talk to me like they knew me. I could barely find a moment to breathe, let alone relax.
Well, what you did was kind of a big deal, you know. You overthrew a Renin lord and burst open the gates of fire.
Yeah, but that was only because I had the blazing sword with me. We wouldn't have made it to Balsef without you and the Crimson Crows, Zephyr.
Maybe so. But you're still the one who took him out in the end. It's only natural for people to look up to those who protect them. You're a hero to those people.
I never asked to be one. I never asked to take the place of a lord in people's minds. I don't want it.
You're a strange one, Alphen. That's for sure. If that's how you really feel, then hold on to that. Listen to those thoughts when you feel lost and don't know what to do. If you can do that, you won't lose sight of who you are, or what the right path to take is.
The right path to take, huh? Hey, Zephyr. Why do you keep fighting?
What do you mean?
Until I met you and the Crimson Crows, all the Danans I ever knew just accepted their lot in life as slaves. Hell, even I was like that. But all of you in the Resistance are different. Even when you have no hope of winning, you keep on fighting. Why is that?
Come on, that's an easy one. I just refuse to live life as a slave, that's all.
Better to die fighting for freedom than to live as a slave, huh?
Let me ask you a question, Alphen. What does it mean to you to not be a slave any longer?
I guess it means living a life not being ruled by the Renins, right?
But what about the Danans who died standing up to the Renins? Are they still slaves? Would they be truly free if all they did was follow my orders and die without knowing what it was they were doing?
But that's...
Being a slave isn't just a position. It's also a state of mind. Don't become my slave, Alphen.
Do you think we'll really be able to wipe the Renins off the face of Dana?
Who said anything about doing that?
But we have to in order to survive. Don't we?
Now that you have the blazing sword, and have shown that we really can win this fight, do you really think we should go around killing every last Renin?
But what else are we supposed to do?
Say we go around killing Renins, so they don't kill us first. In turn, that'll just make more and more of them want to kill us. Where does it end, once you enter such a vicious cycle?
Is that why you told Grenar not to kill any Renins without a good reason?
I'm not saying we should forgive and forget what they've done to us, but we can't let ourselves be dragged down by our own hatred either. Hatred comes in many forms. There's no one solution that will work in every situation. We have to keep searching for new ones if we're going to survive. It's a lifelong journey, finding the answers. That goes for you too. You have to come up with your own answers.
I take it we're heading through here then?
Everything all right, Zephyr?
Yeah, it's nothing.
What is that? A ring?
It was my wife's.
Your wife? You never mentioned anything about being married.
That's surprising?
You said was. So then, is she gone? Was it the Renins?
No, she was sick. I couldn't get her the medicine she needed, and then she was gone. I'd always wanted to show her the world as it could be.
I'm sorry.
Don't be. There are plenty of people out there more deserving of your sympathy than me.
But...
Let's go.
What is this place anyway? What's with these columns and steps?
No idea. I've never been here before either. Rena's convoy squads probably used it in the past.
I guess. It's definitely seen better days. You wouldn't know anything, would you, Shion?
Nope. And I'm not interested in learning either.
Actually, these are Danan ruins. See? You can tell by the way the columns are decorated and stuff. They're all old Danan designs.
Are you saying these things were built more than 300 years ago, then?
Yeah. I have no idea what they were used for, though.
It's amazing to think our ancestors were capable of making such structures. Hopefully there'll come a time when us Danans will be able to walk through here freely again.
That's exactly what you're fighting for, isn't it? Let's keep moving.
Yeah. Right.
Not much further now. The exit'll take us straight into Cyslodia.
You're brooding again. What's eating at you?
We defeated Balsif and liberated Calaglia from the Renans. Now, we're on our way to rescue our fellow Danans in Cyslodia. I'm committed to helping our people. You know that. But then, what happens after that? What's our endgame here?
Good question. The Danans vastly outnumber the Renans, yet we rarely take up arms because we know that when it comes to firepower, we don't stand a chance. Even if you succeeded in overthrowing the Lords and freeing Dana, then what? Lenegis would still hover over us, the Renan motherland behind it. If they so desired, the Renans could potentially use their might to wipe us off the planet in a second, no matter how powerful that blazing sword of yours is.
So what you're saying is we don't stand a chance. So what the heck are we even doing?
There's no sense in discarding today's victory for tomorrow's loss. If fighting yields even a single day of freedom, it will all have been worth it in the end. Who knows? Maybe that's the day we make preparations for the battle that will free us for good. Speaking pragmatically, the fact the Renans don't exterminate us all in spite of their technical advantage has to mean one thing. They need us. It's up to us to put a dent in their armor before they cotton on to our plan. That way, we force them to the negotiating table.
You want to negotiate with the Renans?
It's galling, I know, but it's the only way to survive while securing our freedom at the same time.
That's... But even so, we can't just...
If you lot are done talking, there's a lord we came to overthrow.
What about you, Shion? What do you plan on doing after we've given the Lords the boot?
All I know is, my reasons for fighting aren't the same as yours. I'm through answering these pointless questions.
So this is Cyslodia.
How far is it to the capital?
We've still got a ways to go. Also, the Zeugles here are different than those in Calaglia, so be careful.
Got it. Sounds like we should make sure we stick close together as we keep moving.
Agreed. Hey, Shion!
It'll be hard for me to use my rifle in a pinch if we're all bunched together. I'll follow behind the rest of you.
Right. Makes sense.
What's up with her? She seems even more upfront than back in Calaglia.
In case you forgot, we're in enemy territory now. If you don't get serious and focus on the task at hand, you'll be inviting trouble.
Don't take it personally. I think that's just the way she is. Plus, you have to remember, with those thorns of hers, she's probably not used to anybody being all that friendly to her. The fact that you can't feel pain means you probably end up getting closer to her than she's used to.
You really think so?
We're talking about someone who came down to Dana all by herself. But you don't see her homesick for Lenegis at all, do you?
No.
That alone speaks volumes about how difficult her whole situation must be.
Yeah.
It's your job as her partner to understand that, and give her the support she needs. You two are going to be stuck together for a while, so the sooner you make nice, the better.
Make nice?
Yep. Now come on.